Today on All Caps. Shadowy details or dangerous gambles? We're breaking down the reported meetings between David Zini, the head of the Shin Bet, and Fatah's Mohammad Dahlan. Plus, instant justice. The radical Gaza flotilla agitators get a taste of reality. But this time, their lesson is delivered in Spain. Then, legal warfare of Shurat HaDin. We are launching a new front, calling for criminal charges against the New York Times for their vile blood libels against Israel. Finally, joining us today, an activist who grew up in the heart of Hezbollah's stronghold, only to escape the darkness and become one of Israel's fiercest defenders, Rawan Osman. It all starts right now.
Welcome back to All Caps. It is so good to see you all again. Before we get into the heavy stuff, tell me, ladies, what caught your eyes this week?
Well, did you see the flotilla activists that were beaten by the Spanish police?
Oh, yeah.
There was a viral video. Okay, this video comes out after the other viral video of Israel's National Defense Minister, Itamar Ben-Gvir, put out a video of himself taunting the flotilla activist. And obviously this is not behavior I condone, but this video caused Israeli ambassadors to be called up around the world to answer for his behavior, including the Spanish foreign minister called his Ben-Gvir's behavior monstrous and inhumane. But what did he have to say about this behavior of the Spanish police? These flotilla activists were beaten upon their arrival in Spain, as Israel calls them, the flotilla anarchists. But what's funny here is the hypocrisy. It's like this double standard that Israel is held to, that no other country is held to. And it shows that nobody is calling up the Spanish ambassadors around the world to answer for this behavior. It shows that they never cared about the well-being of these activists. They cared because they hated Israel and they needed to make Israel the problem.
Can you imagine that these activists are missing the IDF? They're like making, I bet they're like, oh, the IDF were so gentle.
What's better?
They realized it was customer service when it came to Israel.
They should all get arrested. They should all get punished and to learn the lesson not to come back here ever again. Israel is a sovereign state. We have a legal closure over Gaza. Don't get involved with our sovereignty. Stay away.
Exactly. Or we'll sue you.
But I'll tell you who we did sue. Mohammad Dahlan.
Yes.
Mohammad Dahlan was the head of one of the branches in the Palestinian Authority back then, in the beginning of the Second Intifada. And Israel caught some evidence that tie him and his deputy, Rashid Abu Shabak, to this bus bombing in Kfar Darom. There used to be a children bus that was going from Kfar Darom to Neved Kalim every morning, 7:30 in the morning. And this terrorist knew that you're talking about a school bus. They knew it was a yellow bus. They knew the time, 7:30 in the morning, and they planted a bomb on the side of the road and blew the bomb up. And people got killed on the bus. And 3 children from the Cohen family lost their legs. We filed a lawsuit against Mohammad Dahlan, and we won.
Wow.
We won. And now I'm bringing it up because I see now that the head of the Shabak is meeting with no other than Mohammad Dahlan.
Why is that?
Why? Yeah.
Thinking that perhaps officials of the Palestinian Authority will be able to control Gaza, to do what the IDF supposed to do with disarming Hamas and perhaps expelling it from the Gaza Strip. And this is like, in my eyes, illusion, because we know that the Palestinian Authority will not fight Hamas. As a matter of fact, they are funding Hamas. They are giving $1 billion a year to Hamas prior to October 7. They will not go into a civil war there. So please wake up. And it's time for Trump actually to let us do the work and finish the job in
Exactly.
Gaza.
Yeah. what caught my eyes this week is, first of all, let's watch the video and then we'll talk about it.
We didn't know much. I thought I'll go to Israel and I just meet Jewish people. I heard there are Arabs there. They call them Arab Israelis. And I thought they were a small number and it will be hard to find them. But that's not what I saw. Arabs and Jews living in peace together. There are mosques everywhere I went. I didn't know Israel will have mosques. I didn't even feel like I was in the Middle East. The women's right, the democracy, it was something else.
You know, in the last 3 years, I heard a lot the word apartheid. As a black woman, the word apartheid is not just a political slogan to me. It's a real-time, real pain in the history when black people were not allowed to vote. They didn't have voice. They had to ask a permission to move from place to place. There was people who died fighting this reality. And this has happened in South Africa. And people are trying to connect Israel to apartheid. First of all, as a black Jewish, as a black person who live in Israel the last 22 years, I can say there is no apartheid in Israel. And also, Arabs here can vote. She said this in the video. They can pray whatever they want. They sit in the parliament. They are judges. They are lawyers. So where is the apartheid that you're trying to say about Israel? And I think it's really dangerous because it's the real pain and what happened in real time when apartheid happened. And you know, Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison because of apartheid. And there is real history behind that word, and there is real pain, and history is matter, and they are not allowed to use this as a political weapon.
But that's exactly why they're using it.
I know.
Because they know they will appeal to minority who's been through. And the real apartheid happening right now in the world is a gender apartheid. In almost every Arab Muslim country, there's a gender apartheid. Women don't have the same rights.
Yeah.
And maybe the reason they don't have the same rights is because if they did, they would speak on behalf of Israel, just like this lady.
Yeah.
So what caught my eye this week was actually a wonderful thing. I saw Hassan Piker, the America Deserve 9/11 guy, with the co-founder of Code Pink, Medea Benjamin. Apparently, they're being looked at by federal investigators over their trip, their humanitarian trip to communist Cuba, okay, with other influencers. Because, of course, nothing says humanitarian aid more than a wealthy influencer with a nice vacation tan talking geopolitics on the beach. Of course, that's humanitarian aid right now. Anyway, so some of the allegations include ties to Hamas, the Iranian regime, to China. And yeah, I think that Code Pink has a bit of an error in their code, because if you're a human rights activist working for countries with no human rights, I guess your code is not computing really. So just so you know who's the founder of Code Pink, you can see the video right here.
This is a totally bogus arrest for me asking a member of Congress what he thought about Israel bombing Qatar, instead of investigating Israel for bombing 7 countries. Congressman, did you see that Israel just bombed Qatar?
Pardon me, go away with your clandestine camera.
Could you say something about it, sir? Could you say something about Israel bombing Qatar?
Take your phone away.
Take your phone away? Are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind? You touch my phone and it's assault.
You broke the law by coming in here. Get out of here.
I broke the law by going into your office? That's what needs to be investigated.
So, of course, she didn't get arrested for talking about Israel. She got arrested for harassing a congressman. And for someone who wants peace, she's not very peaceful, that lady.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the reality on our northern border. We keep hearing the word ceasefire, but for those of us living it, it's a total fake. To help us understand the enemy better than anyone, we are joined by an incredible woman. She grew up in a Hezbollah stronghold, saw the terror for what it was, and chose to stand with the Jewish state. She is even currently in the process of conversion. Please welcome activist Rawan Osman.
So great to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming. You know, you've been an activist fighting anti-Semitism, standing up for Israel for a long time now, but now you took it even one step further, and you shared that you're going through a conversion.
I decided to convert Nitzana before October 7th, but I realized on October 7th that it is important to tell the world that I'm converting, because I would like, especially young Jews, to understand there's nothing wrong with them and everything wrong with the world.
Wow.
Yeah.
If you are a Jew, you should wear it as a badge of honor, not make yourself invisible. And how did that work out for you so far? The smaller you make yourself, the harder the kick in the belly. Enough with that.
100%.
Wow, I love that.
100%, yeah.
Amazing.
Jews would be proud and look where it's coming from someone who just see it from outside.
So how did your family react to the conversion?
Oh, they were very happy and proud. No. No. First of all, people's initial reaction is, this is not possible. Like, you can't convert to Judaism. No, you can. So this is the first shock. And then they ask, why? Why? From my perspective, this is something very personal. And I never wanted anyone to know, because this makes sense to me. And it does not need to make sense to anyone.
Yeah.
However, after October 7th, I think for many Jews, it means the world to know that this is not my dirty secret. It's something I'm proud of. In Judaism, you have a treasure to be proud of, and it is part of your mission to be a light unto nations, a light. Not something you can monopolize. It's not something you hide in a safe, you hide in your pocket. It's something you're supposed to share. And I think this is crucial. So whoever gets upset or disappointed should slowly understand that this is very personal, and there's a reason why I share that I'm joining the Jews, the Jewish people, but also, especially after coming to Israel a few times, people told me, yeah, you have a Jewish neshama, Barur, you have a Jewish neshama. And I was thinking, what does that even mean? So the DNA test confirmed what that meant. Of course, we have Jewish blood, many of us in the region, because before Islam came here, the region was inhabited.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was inhabited by Jews and many other cultures, but definitely. That's amazing. I mean, we're brothers, seriously. We're Middle East.
It's more than that. I think let's use the cliche, cousins.
Yeah.
We are related. Many people's lives were made intolerable, unbearable, to the point where you thought, maybe converting or assimilating will help us out. And thousands of years later, we realized, nah, maybe not. So I think it's only natural to go back to our roots. At least this is how I feel about it.
Amazing.
Rawan, you were born in Syria, raised in Lebanon. How did you become an advocate for Israel?
Wow. Not overnight, that's for sure. I lived in Lebanon for 18 years, and I was born in Damascus because of the IDF. In 1984, when the IDF were getting closer, deeper into the Bekaa Valley, my father was worried that regions or cities will be disconnected. So he sent my mother to Damascus to deliver, it was their first baby, to deliver in the Italian hospital near where his parents lived. I grew up, and I'm not proud of this, but I always share it. I used to be Hezbollah's biggest fan. I thought they were amazing heroes, the only ones who dared defy the Israeli occupiers. And yes, Israel occupied South Lebanon. Now, I did not know why Israel occupied South Lebanon. There's a minor detail that is omitted. For more than 10 years, Israel showed a lot of restraint while armed Palestinian factions trained Palestinians, but also Lebanese, and also their supporters from around the world, be it Germany, Italy, Japan, and sent people to infiltrate Israeli borders. After 10 years of restraint, Israel realized diplomacy is not the key and decided to create a buffer zone. I didn't know all this until I moved to Europe, and there I landed by chance. I learned in Judaism there are no coincidences. I landed in the Jewish quarter, in one of the biggest Jewish quarters in Europe, and I realized that the Jews don't bite. I realized that we were intensively indoctrinated, and at the beginning, I was very angry, which is not healthy. With time, it became outrage, which is healthier. I was angry because almost every war with Israel, every life could have been spared on both sides had the Arabs not adopted, prior to the establishment of the Jewish state, this rejectionist attitude, this entitled stance. It's ours. It's ours. Will not talk to the Jews, will not negotiate, will not cooperate, etc. Our region would have been booming. Booming. What is the difference between our coast, our region, and south of France? Why do famous people from around the world go to Cannes and Saint-Tropez? Why don't they come to us? We have nicer beaches. We have nicer food. The difference is cultural, and that filled me with anger. I started working with the Jews and the Israelis, especially after the historic signing of the Abraham Accords. But I adapted to the Jewish way: soft diplomacy, make yourself smaller, Holocaust education, etc. And after October 7, I decided we are switching. We are switching to fighter mode, because this time, every red line was crossed.
How different is Lebanon today than it was then? And what pains you the most about that?
When people, not necessarily Jews, in Europe ask me, how was Lebanon when you grew up there? Maybe, let's say roughly, half of the Lebanese were Christians, the other half were Muslims. And I grew up in a secular society. My father is Sunni, my mom is Shia. The fact that they intermarried tells you that it's a secular family. They sent us to a French Catholic school. We had a Christmas tree at home, not because my parents had any religious connection, because it was sweet, it was cultural. But that was Lebanon back then. The last time I went to Lebanon, what shocked me the most...
When it was that?
More than 10 years ago. What shocked me the most, not the way economy eroded, etc., but how many veiled women you could see visible in the public space. Not only wearing the veil, but something I have never, ever seen when I was a child, the black chador from Iran. And that is to say that today, roughly, half of Lebanon is Hezbollah, Shia, and their supporters, many useful idiots also among the Christians. And the other half is everything else, those who refuse to leave Lebanon or who cannot afford to. So demography, culture, the religious scene changed dramatically. That is not to say everything is doom and gloom. Things are changing in Lebanon.
It's so good to hear. You've been here in Israel many times. You visit here. What do you like the most about our country?
Look, maybe this is not specific to Israel. So speaking generally, I'm someone who's been living in Germany since 2013. I did not move to Germany because of their weather or their cuisine.
Definitely.
I wanted a safe environment for my child. And I myself identify with Western values, so I moved there. Now, meanwhile, the Europe I live in reminds me of the Arab world I escaped from.
Exactly.
And I see the dramatic changes slowly but surely. Coming to Israel, leave advocacy aside, reminds me of home. I like the weather, I like the people. The first time I wanted to come here, the rabbi, the Swedish rabbi who knew that he's the first one I told I'm converting, he asked to see me and he told me, please, don't hold a grudge. You have to understand, the Israelis are nice, they're just chaotic, they can't respect the rules, they drive like morons. I'm like, Shaul, I grew up in Lebanon.
Yeah, it's the Middle East, yeah.
I did not grow up in Sweden. I grew up in Lebanon. So I love the Israeli way. And then if you take it one step further, what is very specific to Israel, the resilience. The resilience. They love each other. The first time I left Israel, I shared with the world, you want to know what Israel's secret is? Here you go, I'm going to reveal it.
Yeah.
Love. Love. One of my closest friends came from the north after serving for almost 2 months because he knew this is my first time in Israel. And went to grab a coffee in Tel Aviv. And he was wearing his uniform. He was still dirty and dusty and his gun. And as he was getting his coffee, a woman behind him, she's old, she doesn't know him, kissed him on the back, cried a little bit, she left. He didn't even turn. A guy his age gave him a hug from behind. He didn't even turn to say thank you because they paid for the coffee. It was taken for granted because this is how we treat one another, and this is the secret. And bear in mind, this is now after 22 visits. I lost count. I think I've been here 22 times since October 7th.
Oh.
And I met thousands of Israelis, and I know things are bad. I know that people are tired, not desperate, tired.
I feel that too.
And still, they are happy. They get up in the morning, they run on the tayelet, they go shopping, they celebrate their children's birthdays. And I asked everyone, and whether you're religious or not, their answer is always, we celebrate life.
Exactly.
When enemies celebrate death, we celebrate life.
Are you planning to make Aliyah?
Of course.
I think it's a right question.
Right.
Of course, since August, I have an apartment in Jerusalem. Of course, in Yerushalayim. אני בטח you. Where else would I live? But I want to make Aliyah, definitely. I would have finished my conversion and my Aliyah. But I think, and I'm saying this half in a joking manner, if the Shabak would get off my back, and Israelis always say, like, no, this is not possible. You are an advocate for Israel. But of course,
the Shabak is in your back? What do you say right now? Of course,
it's understandable. Half of my family, my mom is Shia Lebanese.
Yeah.
Even if you want to make Aliyah and you are coming from Brazil or from Lebanon, wherever you're coming from, of course they have to do a security.
Research, of course.
Yeah.
They have to know what's your background. Are you planning to infiltrate the country? Maybe just stay here for 20 years.
Maybe you're a spy.
Maybe you're a spy.
Maybe you're a spy. That's what they
Well, if I am a spy, and until now I came 22 times, they didn't catch anything on me, you should recruit me instead of making my life hell.
I mean, as much as I would love to have people like you in Israel. We need you in the world. No one tells a better story than someone who's been through what you've been through and grew up the way you did.
And yet, Westerners dare lecture me on our reality. Mm-hmm. They tell me about the genocide, and I have to always tell them, people, do you speak Arabic? Do you speak Hebrew? Have you ever been to our region?
Exactly.
What are you talking about?
Nothing.
Exactly.
What do you mean by river, sea,
100%.
free Palestine?
They don't know even where is it on the map.
So ignorant. But, you know, before we let you go, the situation here in Israel is really scary. When we talk about ceasefire, there is no ceasefire. We lost 11 soldiers just for this period of time because Hezbollah does not cease its
Because of the drones. These
and
drones
the
are
drones
a huge problem.
Getting into our border, into the communities and killing our soldiers. And it seems like there is a negotiation with the government of Lebanon, which seems very weak. I don't think the Lebanese government can do anything, cannot disarm Hezbollah, cannot stop Hezbollah. So where do you see all this thing going? How Israel can really dismiss Hezbollah, destroy Hezbollah? Can it ever keep living in safety in the northern border? Can we keep the Litani River border staying there? What's your picture on this?
You are right that the Lebanese government by itself can never, ever disarm Hezbollah. Why should they? Hezbollah is stronger than the Lebanese government. Why should they voluntarily give up their ideology? Mm-hmm. They will not. It is with the help of the mediators, the Americans, that this can be done. After October 7th, I said, and not naively, it was not an impulsive statement, the axis of resistance committed suicide. They didn't know it at the time.
Yeah.
I never imagined Israel stopping short of obliterating the axis of resistance. Even the Iranian regime will be toppled sooner or later. This is going to happen.
How?
Hezbollah is the most problematic actor, proxy of that regime. Mm-hmm. They are nasty.
Yeah.
And I always tell the Israelis, thank God they did not join on October 7th because Hezbollah members are not buffoons, are not like Hamasniks. They would never stop to rape anybody. They would kill everything in sight and steal the bodies. They are seriously trained. And I think the mistake was to ignore the elephant in the room. You pull out of Lebanon, you created a power vacuum, and you knew the Israelis were monitoring the situation. You knew that the problem is snowballing and Hezbollah became stronger than the Lebanese state. And now the problem became so big, it doesn't fit under the carpet anymore. It exploded in all our faces. But that said, since Israel pulled out of Lebanon, the Lebanese managed, through political activism, they organized themselves and managed to drive the Syrian army out of Lebanon. At what cost? Hezbollah, with the help of the Assad regime, killed every prominent figure in Lebanon, journalists, beautiful, intelligent people. They were assassinated. And after many, many assassinations, they managed to shut them up for a while. But the same people who organized themselves back then continued steadily. And now they became larger and larger to the point where they could make public statements, arrange conferences, talk about pros and cons of peace with Israel. Actually, this particular conference was organized by the nephew of Ismail, the president who was assassinated.
So what you're saying is basically that the change will come from the people, not necessarily from the Lebanese
With the help of the
government.
Americans.
With the help of the Americans.
But the IDF cannot stop. I'm pretty sure the Israelis would love to stop sending troops into Lebanon, but you have to kill those who are adamant to die while killing you. There is no other solution.
So let the IDF continue forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Amazing.
Amazing, amazing.
Really, and
I
we
believe
salute
this
you.
is I believe people like you, with your story, are really the only people that the world is going to listen to.
I hope so.
It's so important that you're here and that you're doing your work. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Now I want to take off my moderator hat for a moment and speak to you as the president of Shurat HaDin. This week, my organization, Shurat HaDin, took the extraordinary step of calling on Israel's Attorney General and state prosecutor to file criminal charges for defamation against the New York Times and columnist Nicholas Kristof. This follows a report published on May 11th titled "The Silence That Meets the Rape of Palestinians," which accused Israel, its soldiers, prison authorities, and even citizens of systematic sexual violence against Palestinians. Among the most shocking claims is an allegation that Israeli security forces use dogs to assault detainees. This is nothing less than a modern blood libel. This is not legitimate criticism. It is a grotesque and dangerous description that crosses every line of responsible journalism. Such allegations don't just harm the reputation of Israeli soldiers and institutions, they endanger Israel's standing in the world and put Jews and Israelis at risk globally. We believe this publication is part of a broader pattern of deeply biased coverage. Over time, the New York Times has moved beyond fair reporting and into the amplification of narratives rooted in propaganda, including from sources linked to Hamas. When a media outlet with such global influence publishes claims that extreme without credible evidence, it is no longer journalism. It becomes a campaign with real-world consequences. Israel cannot afford to stand by silently. We in Shurat HaDin are demanding immediate legal action because there must be accountability when lies of this magnitude are spread to the world. We will never stop fighting for the truth. I'm back to you, girls. What does an Israeli student who completes his degree in New York do? Watch.
Wow.
Mazel tov to him.
He needs to get a medal
Yeah.
This is
for
Yarin
surviving.
Soudry. This is Yarin Soudry, an Israeli student who graduated in New York, and this is what he did in stage.
He needs to get a medal for surviving the atmosphere, the hostile
Honestly,
atmosphere, the anti-Semitism in the academia. He needs to get a medal.
It could have gone one of two ways, and thankfully, it was fine. Everything was okay. But we know that people have gotten aggressive and violent in the past when they see the Israeli flag.
Yeah.
Yeah, good
He's so
job.
proud for
Where
doing
in
that.
other places people burn the Israeli flag, here, this is a proud.
Yeah, he
in-
did it
in the heart of
wonderful.
the
Wow,
Lord.
amazing.
Ladies, thank you so much once again for a beautiful show. And for our viewers, thank you for joining us on All Caps. Stay safe, stay proud, and we'll see you next time.